What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and I am super excited for this one because in this video I am going to be showing you how you can automate pretty much any browser related task using a very popular open source project called browseruse. Now, browseruse is an AI agent powered by a large language model, and you can pass instructions using natural language and tell it to do anything on the browser. So this is going to be very interesting, and we're going to be specifically using GPT-4o for the sake of simplicity of this example, but you can use your own local model such as DeepSeek from Olama and basically do all of this using no cost. So I hope you are as excited as I am for this project because this is going to take very few simple steps and we're going to get started right away. Alright, so the first step is to head over to this popular browseruse project, and this is a GitHub repository which we're going to be using, and we're going to be following its instructions which are mentioned right here under the quick start section, as you can see. And it basically gives us very few steps. All we need to do is we need to set up a local environment, and I recommend that before you start this video you should have a Python installation in your PC, and also it's better to have a virtual environment set up because this project requires a significant amount of dependencies. So that's why it's better to set up a virtual environment first. Alright, so let's open our command prompt here, and what we're going to do is we're going to type in these commands and basically set up the entire project. It's going to be very simple. I will choose a new folder, so I'm just going to go into the root path of my C drive and I'm just going to create a new folder, and I'm going to be calling this browser use. You can name this anything you want, and then we're just going to navigate inside this directory, and then we'll create a Python's virtual environment, and you can easily do that using this command python -m and venv. Alright, so with our environment being created, now we need to activate this environment before we start installing the dependencies. So the way we activate the environment in Windows, and it's going to be very different for the type of OS you're using. So if you're using Linux, there's a different command. If you're using Windows, there's a different command. So since I'm using Windows, the command for activating the environment is going to be .env/scripts activate. And there we go. So our environment has been activated now. Now all we need to do is we need to install the dependencies one by one. So the first thing we need to install is this dependency called browseruse, which is the main package, and it basically encompasses all the dependencies we need for this project. So I'm just going to copy this command here, and I'm just going to paste it here and then press enter. And then we're just going to wait for the dependencies to get installed. Alright, so now the dependencies have been installed. So now we're going to run the second command, which is to install Playwright. And now Playwright is the library that basically allows this browseruse project to simulate an entire web browser. It's going to specifically use Chromium. So that's why it tells us to install Chromium, which is basically a very lightweight version of the browser Chrome. And it's not something that you need to install because let's say if for the sake of your own example, if you want to use your own browser, you can skip this step and pass the instance of your own browser's exe file, and it's just going to use your existing browser. But for the sake of this example, I'm going to show how you can install this one, and we're just going to type in this command as well and let it install. Alright, so that was very quick because in my PC, Playwright is already installed, so this can take a little bit more time in your PC because it was already installed in my. Now, what we need to do is we need to create a file for Python and basically set up this script, which is basically all we need to do, and we can just simply write the task that we need the agent to perform. We're just going to go ahead and copy this entire code, and then first of all, we're just going to open up VS Code. I'm going to launch this project in VS Code, and then I'm going to create something called main.py, which is basically the file that we will be using to basically bootstrap this entire project. And then one thing that we still need to do is we need to create something called the env file, in which we're going to place our OpenAI key. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this env file, and if you go to the readme again, as you can see that they have already provided us with the right key value pairs. So make sure you copy this, and you don't need to populate all the keys here. All you need to do is enter your OpenAI key. So I'm just going to go to my OpenAI dashboard now. So inside the OpenAI dashboard, you need to head over to your API keys, and you can access your API keys from the settings. And if you don't have an API key generated, you can just simply generate a new API key by clicking on this create new secret key. And I'm just going to call this browseruse. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select any project of my choice. And then I'm going to create the secret key here, and then copy the secret key, and then head over to the env file and paste this secret key inside the env file. And that's it. So now our project is ready. And in order to test this, all we need to do is we need to run this Python file and see if it actually works. I am just going to go ahead and run the same example here. And what we can do is we can just go to the same command prompt, and we can just type in this command python main.py, which is our file. And it's going to basically navigate to Google, and it is now searching for OpenAI's documentation, and it is extracting the price for OpenAI, and then now it has been searching for DeepSeek v3, and it's going to extract the price for that as well. And then once the task is completed, it should be able to close the browser itself. Looking at the command prompt, as you can see that it also extracted and all the prices, and it's even showing the number of steps it's performing. So all the reasoning and steps that the model and the agent is taking, it's actually showing us this AI. And as you can see, once the task is completed, we now have the data available to us, which says that the GPT-4o pricing for the input tokens is $2.5 per 1 million tokens, and we have the price for the output tokens as well. And similarly, we also have the pricing for DeepSeek v3, which is very interesting. All right, so I'm going to do something very interesting. I'm going to ask this agent to go to Vanovation Academy's YouTube channel and basically subscribe from another account that I have on YouTube. So now here's the problem. In order for me to be able to do this, I need to pass the reference of my own browser. So in order to save the number of steps for this agent, what I will do, so I will just pass in the reference of my own browser, and the way we can do that, head over to their documentation from this link right here. They've already mentioned it in their repository, so we're just going to click on this. And if you go into the documentation, you should be able to find it somewhere here. And as you can see, it just tells us that we just need to pass in this path here for referencing our own browser. So that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to copy this whole code, and then we're just going to paste this right about here. And as you can see, it already commented out the path for Windows. And since I'm using Windows, so I'm going to just use this path instead of Mac OS path. And we need to also add in some imports. And that's it. So now we should be able to use our own browser. But there is something that they've already mentioned, and that is you need to close all your existing Chrome instances or your browser's instances in order for it to work correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and close all my browser instances. And now what I will do is I will just write the task. Oh, this is so exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it, hey, so you need to go to YouTube and search for Vanovation Academy, the comment section for the latest published video, and write something positive. Okay, so let's see if it's able to do this. Oh, we forgot to pass in our browser instance. So we need to pass in the browser instance. As you can see that I created this browser instance, but I didn't pass the browser instance inside this config of the agent. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass the browser instance here. We're going to run this command again, and we're going to type in main.py, and let's see if it's able to do it. All right, so you can see that this time it launched my own browser instance, and it should now navigate to youtube.com. Okay, it just navigated to youtube.com. and it just searched for the YouTube channel. And as you can see, now it's looking for the latest title or the video published by the channel, and it already did that. It has just launched my YouTube short on the model context protocol, and now it should be able to search for the comment section, and it seems like it's stuck in a loop and it's not able to locate this input field. So that's why it just keeps on trying to click on this, and I think that is probably because of the it wrote the comment for me. And let's see if it's able to publish this comment. Oh wow, it just did it. So we just added a comment on our video and the whole thing was automated to basically close the entire task. Amazing. So it just did that. It just completed the entire task, and it was able to add the comment. And as you can see, how powerful this is. All right, guys, so that's it. So that's how you can basically use the browseruse project to pretty much automate any browser related task that you can think of, and the sky is the limit. So I am interested to know what you will be doing with this project, and if you have better use cases, or if you can think of some interesting ideas on how you can utilize this project to automate something very interesting, I would love to know about it. Comment section. And if you want to watch some of the more interesting content that I will be posting in the future, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, see you in the next one.